What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Just getting started here. Just letting people filter in. Hope everyone's Saturday is going well. Sunday, depending on what part of the world you're in. Maybe the middle of the night. If the audio is messed up, please let me know. If anything's wrong, give me a heads up in the comments. Hope everyone had a great week as well. Great weekend for cinema. I just saw Oppenheimer last night. It's amazing. Definitely go see it. Haven't seen Barbie yet, though. Don't know if I will. Kind of waiting for the reviews on that one. Just hang out for a bit until everybody's piled in here. Got Johan looking at the main stage of Tomorrowland. Man, that's a crazy festival. I've never been, but I've seen those videos. Wild amount of people. Probably give me anxiety these days being that much of a crazy crowd. What's going on, Crypto Homie, Jim, Sherpa? What's good, Jeff, Papa Joe? Glad to see everybody here. Comment if you're here. Say what's up. I think we should be live on Twitter as well. No idea if it's working. Need to get a little bit more consistent with my streaming so I know what the heck's going on. But I think we're all good. Yeah, so wherever you're tuning in from, I appreciate it. We are going to go over Divi DeFi obviously today. But I want to just talk to you guys about DeFi because I feel like the Divi community is relatively unfamiliar with the topic in general. So I want to show you guys some of the tools that, us degens use and how to familiarize yourself with DeFi and with the different aspects of DeFi. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's a great way to engage on chain, avoid dealing with centralized exchanges, centralized finance services, etc. You guys know that I'm not like anti-CeFi necessarily, and I think there's a place for all of it. But to me, DeFi more adequately shares sort of the mantra, or the dogma of crypto, what it's meant to be, what it's supposed to be promoting, which is, of course, decentralized self-custody that you can engage in that's as good or better than the traditional finance system. So obviously there's DeFi platforms that allow you to lend. There's DeFi platforms that allow you to stake, trade. Just about everything that you can do in the centralized world can be done in DeFi. You can even trade synthetic stocks, wrapped assets. There's so many things. The rabbit hole is so deep, and we won't go over all of it today, but I'll show you where you can start to go down that rabbit hole if it's of interest to you. If you want to learn more about DeFi, like I can do more of these kinds of videos. It's something that I and some of the team at Divi are super involved in and very interested in. So happy to dig into it as well. Obviously we just saw like with KuCoin making it so that everyone has to KYC, and most of the exchanges will eventually have to go that way for one reason or another. Decentralized exchanges are so important to the success of this system. And now that some of the big projects like Chainlink just came out with CCIP, which is the Chainlink cross-chain interoperability protocol, I think that's what it stands for. They have the ability now to connect a variety of services across multiple chains, even onboard. I think one of the use cases is supposed to be able to like onboard with fiat into crypto from the banking system. I know they already have a relationship with Swift and some of the other like large-scale financial service providers out there. So the solution will come for like an actual decentralized onboarding mechanism, one way or another. And that's one of the biggest barriers is like, how do I actually acquire crypto if I don't have Coinbase or I don't have some centralized service that's selling me Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. And it's great to see, Venmo and PayPal and Square and all those enable that. I think Robinhood even has a like an actual wallet where you can send your coins out of now. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they never launched that, but absolutely happy to see everyone popping in here. Looks like we got a few homies in the chat. So I'm glad to see everyone here, and thank you for joining me. So let's get this show on the road, as Johan said. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, buddy. So DeFi, right? This I'm going to start just by showing you one of the tools that I use. This is called DBank. You can just go to dbank.com and connect your Web3 wallet. Maybe we should even go further back. Maybe we should go to the Web3 wallet thing. So like the most commonly used Web3 wallet right now is, of course, MetaMask, which you can just go to metamask.io and install it into your browser. I obviously already have it installed, but this is sort of the go-to wallet right now as far as Web3 is concerned. There's another one called Phantom that is starting to go cross-chain. And then, of course, there's Coinbase and the rest all have their own variants. But MetaMask seems to be the most popular integrated Web3 wallet with your browser. Whenever you go to any EVM compatible website, you're going to see the ability to connect your wallet to that website. This is equivalent to logging into an app with Google or Facebook or whatever, except that it's decentralized and there's not a third party taking all of your information and tracking everything that you do necessarily. So that's kind of how MetaMask works with just about everything. I'm already connected to DBank here, but DBank is an amazing tool, and there's other ones as well. There's one called Zappify that's very similar, but essentially what these are basically overviews of your entire Web3 sort of portfolio. So right now, this wallet is brand new. I just set it up for the purposes of this video, but you can set it up as well, and you'll be able to see all of your assets across all of the different chains. Right now, I just have Ethereum, but if I had, let's say, Matic on Polygon, that would come up here as well. If I'm doing some stuff on ZK Sync, it would come up here as well. Every EVM compatible chain that you're connected to and have money in, or coins or NFTs or whatever in, will appear under your portfolio. And then, of course, it'll show your wallet and all the assets that you hold and their equivalent value in US dollar in my case, but you can set it up to be whatever your local currency is. This is super helpful because as you dig deeper into DeFi and as you dig deeper into EVM chains and stuff like that, you'll most likely be adding a lot of different L1s and L2s to your MetaMask, and it's easy to forget. It's easy to get confused. It's easy to be like, man, what am I even engaging with on such and such chain? It happens to me all the time. And so something like DBank can give you a nice quick overview. So it's like, oh crap, I forgot I left, 20 coins on such and such chain. You can go and engage with it. Or a lot of times I forget where I'm like lending coin or doing whatever I'm doing, and DBank can show you that. The other cool thing about DBank is that you can track other people's wallets. So if you're like following a really successful trader and you want to copy his trades or her trades, you can add them and follow them on DBank as well and see what they're doing, seeing what they're up to. The other thing that's really helpful as far as DeFi is concerned is DeFi Llama. So this is just like almost like, I don't know, maybe compare it to something like CoinMarketCap. It's essentially just an overview of the entire DeFi ecosystem. It's also a very good idea to check this from time to time if you're getting into DeFi, just to see what's really popular. So like this is just the DeFi overview. You can see Lido is really popular right now. It's a liquid staking protocol for Ethereum. Aave, MakerDAO, like you can see Uniswap is always one of the top ones. And this is also a good way to see like what the narrative is currently, what's really popular in DeFi. And if you see like major TVL changes, which is total value locked, in certain protocols, maybe something's going on. Maybe you should check the the news about that protocol, or if it's pumping, perhaps there's something else going on that you want to be aware of. It's a great way to find new protocols and stuff like that. Be very careful though. Obviously, DeFi is extremely risky at times, so stick to the top ones. If you're new to this, don't be jumping into crazy yield farms and stuff. But yeah, definitely poke around. You can see you can actually filter it by whichever chain you want, and there are many EVM compatible chains. They even have Solana on here as well. So definitely take a look through that stuff if you're interested in getting deeper into this ecosystem. Okay, that's all I'm gonna burden you with for now as far as like DeFi tools. There are many more analytics tools and portfolio tools and such, but for now I think that's probably enough information on that. Again, just reach out if you have questions about it, and I'm happy to explain, go over it with you guys, whatever. We can do other videos on this topic if you are interested. Okay, so Divi is a wrapped asset on Ethereum and now, of course, Polygon as well. And maybe I can put this in the chat. I actually don't know if I can do this, but let me see. So this is the Ethereum version of Divi. The actual token contract address is now in the comments if you want to click on it and follow along directly. Ensure that anytime you're engaging with Divi, this is the one. You want to make sure that this is the contract address. I'm going to show you guys how you can add Divi to your MetaMask. And this is true of any coin on Ethereum. If your MetaMask wallet doesn't automatically pick up that your token is there, which you can see I don't have. It looks like I don't have Divi in my wallet right now, although I do. You can add a token. So you just click import tokens, select the custom token tab, and paste in the contract address. You can just easily copy it from Etherscan. And you can see it auto-populates Divi. You add the custom token. I have 275,000 Divi in there. Import tokens, and boom. It has the USD value and everything, right? So now you have both Divi and Ethereum theoretically in your wallet. For everything that I'm going to show you today, you're going to have ETH in your wallet. So if you don't have ETH in your wallet, get some quickly. You can swap on Divi DeFi or wherever you get your coins from, and because you always need Ethereum in your wallet if you're playing on Ethereum. Oh, my buddy just told me that you're not seeing my MetaMask, so apologies for that. Perhaps I can show. I don't know how to do it otherwise, but let's see. Thought it would show the full screen. Apologies, guys. So I don't know if this is going to be equivalent to the actual wallet. So I'll have to think about how we can show this off. Give me 1 second, guys. Maybe I can actually just change what's showing on my screen. Just share my entire screen. If it doesn't work, then I'll post pictures of it or something later. But anyway, right. So once you actually have Divi in your wallet, then you can engage once you have Ethereum in your wallet, you can engage with the Divi DeFi platform. Some little tips and tricks and information about Divi DeFi. So right now, the API that manages the charts and the info page is, I guess they changed the API. So the devs have to update and refactor that slightly. One other thing that we should mention is Divi DeFi is not a Divi Labs product. It's something that's built by a completely separate development group. We basically just work with them on licensing the name. We help them with certain aspects of it, like the staking vaults, some of the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, it is technically a completely separate dev team and completely separate group, which is cool. It's good for the ecosystem to have decentralized stuff. But of course, we have a close relationship with that team. My understanding is that they're working on fixing it. So if you see like the chart is incorrect or whatever, that's why. I think they're using Uniswap's API and they changed endpoints or something. So that's that. So the cool thing with Divi DeFi is while it does leverage Uniswap in order to create pairs and swaps and liquidity and stuff like that, it's actually leveraging what we call proxy DEX. So we built a proxy layer on top, or they've built, sorry, a proxy layer on top of Uniswap. So the fees and everything like that actually get paid into a wallet that the Divi DeFi platform owns. So if you want to support Divi and you want to help the ecosystem, use Divi DeFi instead of Uniswap. It's the same liquidity and everything like that you'd get on Uniswap, but you're supporting Divi instead of Uniswap's VCs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Uniswap's a great tool, but yeah. So in order to get some Divi, if you don't already have eDivi in your wallet, there's a few different ways that you can do this. First of all, you can go to Divi Wallet and just do it on your phone. Easily swap any coin for eDivi. It'll say Divi ETH on the wallet, and that's really simple to do. And then you just send that Divi to your MetaMask. If you have Ethereum already in your MetaMask wallet, you can simply swap ETH for Divi right here. I'm not going to do it because I already have some, but if I wanted to, say, get 0.01 of Divi, it would give me just under 6,000 Divi, and it shows you some interesting metrics that I will now explain. Obviously, the price is the price. It'll show you how much you're going to receive at minimum, the price impact that your trade will have on the market. In this case, you're swapping ETH for Divi, so it's going to have a very minimal impact on the Ethereum market, but it'll have an impact on the pair, only the pair that is on Divi DeFi, right? So it's not impacting KuCoin, it's not impacting any of the other exchanges. It's not an aggregate. It's the actual market on Divi DeFi, which is an interesting way that you can leverage arbitrage and things like that. That again, we can go over in another video, not this one. And then, of course, you see the fee that you're going to pay to the LP, which you will soon become if you follow this tutorial. The LP is a liquidity provider or liquidity pool provider. So yeah, again, I'm not going to swap, but you just press swap and you know how it works. Once you have, and this is important, once you have an equivalent number in dollars of Divi and Ethereum, you can provide liquidity. This is called an automated market maker. So when you go to provide liquidity to any DeFi pool, liquidity pool, what you're doing is you're putting an equivalent number of either side of the pair, just like on KuCoin or any other exchange that you use. You know, you're trading Bitcoin for USDT, right? Except on an exchange, on a centralized exchange, the market makers and the exchange themselves are the ones who are providing that liquidity. Someone is selling Bitcoin and someone is selling USDT. You are one of the counterparties in a lot of cases on those trades. And a lot of times the other counterparty is an exchange or a market maker. In the case of centralized exchanges, however, the exchange makes all the fees. So every time a swap happens, every time an exchange happens between USDT and Bitcoin on KuCoin, you paying the exchange, you're paying KuCoin a very small percentage of that trade in order to facilitate it, to broker it, which is great for KuCoin, but not necessarily anyone else. DeFi democratizes this by enabling people to participate in the market as their own market makers. You can actually set up a liquidity position whereby you provide both sides of the trade. So when if you provide what we're going to do today, which is Ethereum and Divi, each time somebody comes in and buys some Divi, you're earning the fee instead of a centralized exchange. Now you'll earn a fee equivalent to your size within that pool, and we'll talk about that in a second. So I'm going to add liquidity. In this case, I'm going to put 0.4 ETH, and we'll select Divi as the counterparty token. So why am I not putting my entire balance? Because I'm still going to need some gas to participate on the platform. So I want to make sure that I leave a little bit of Ethereum in my wallet in order to keep paying gas as needed. So the first thing you have to do, this is a two-step process. It's approve Divi. And I know you guys can't see it, but my MetaMask will have popped up here. It's on the side. It'll ask how much I'm willing to spend. This is a good feature that MetaMask added to cap your spending to avoid hacks and stuff like that. So I'm just going to put the max balance. And then it'll ask me to approve. It's like $1.22 right now. Gas is actually pretty cheap. I guess everybody's out touching grass, which is good for them. Once the transaction mines, so you're actually sending a transaction to the blockchain right now. It's an approval transaction that is written into the smart contract that you just signed. Once it's approved, you can do the second part, which is supply. So you've approved that the tokens are spendable. Now you can supply these tokens to the liquidity pool in order to start earning fees. Now, before I do this, I want to just highlight some of the aspects of what you're seeing on the table here. So I'm obviously putting in 0.4 ETH, 235,413 Divi, and it shows me the rates of ETH to Divi. And then it shows me, this is the most important part, the share of the pool. So in this case, I'm actually going to have 3.735% of the entire liquidity pool, which is great because basically I will earn the fees based on my share of the pool, right? So the higher your number here, the more frequently you'll earn rewards from the trades. And the higher APR will be. Again, it pops up the MetaMask off screen, and I confirm the transaction. This one cost me just under $5. Transaction is submitted to the network, and once it mines, I will have my liquidity position, which I'll show you momentarily. As soon as it goes through. Okay, so now that it's gone through, we have an actual position. As you can see, 3.73% of the pool, pooled Divi, pooled ETH. Awesome. Now what you're seeing here, this is probably the most confusing part, is the total LP amount. So instead of actually having Divi or ETH in my wallet now, I have Divi ETH. It's called an LP token. So it's a liquidity pool token. It's a representation of your full share of the pool. So that 3.73% has given me this much LP token, essentially. I can always pull this liquidity out, add to it, etc. But today we're going to be showing off how we can enter the cross-chain yield farm. Now, yield farming is a pretty common concept in DeFi as well. It's the ability to take your liquidity pool token and earn additional yield on it. Typically, this will be paid out in the platform's native token. So in the case of something like Pancake Swap, you earn cake if you stake your LP tokens. There are typically higher rewards mechanisms depending on if you want to lock it up for longer, if you want to take the native token versus, say, USDT or whatever. There's lots of different dynamics that play out with yield farms. And it's something that, again, I'd recommend you dig into a little bit more on your own. But we can also talk about as well offline or on another stream. So for now, I'm just going to go over here, the Divi farm. Now, the cool thing about the Divi DeFi cross-chain yield farm is the farming rewards, the actual staking rewards, instead of being randomly generated by the smart contract, actually come from the layer 1 Divi. So Divi, of course, most of you guys know who are watching this live know that Divi is a layer 1 blockchain, but it's a UTXO based blockchain, right? So it doesn't have, while it has smart contracts to an extent in the form of opcodes, it doesn't actually have um, expressive smart contracts like something like Ethereum or Solana or whatever. So for that reason, it doesn't have the ability to do some of the things in DeFi that are enabled by EVM compatible chains. There's too many schools of thought on both types of chains, and there are still modern chains that use UTXO. Many of them use account-based systems like Ethereum. So, but at any rate, this is one of the coolest things we've built, and it leverages our patented technology called staking vaults in order to accomplish this. So it's just basically a way to earn additional rewards, additional yield, while you're participating in the liquidity pool, as well as, for example, if you're staking with a staking vault on your Divi wallet or Divi desktop wallet, you can take your rewards and perhaps put them in a yield farm or whatever. So I'm going to show you how this is done. The first thing, once again, it's a two-step process. All you have to do is approve Divi ETH LP. Again, MetaMask is popping up. I know you guys can't see it. This was $7. So let's see. The first one was like $1.50. The second one was like $4.50. And this one was like $7. So I'm just keeping track of how much this costs overall to do. I'm just going to write these numbers down. Okay, so the approval process has taken place successfully. The next step is just to stake the Divi ETH LP. I'm actually going to do the entire balance that I have. Confirm. Again, the MetaMask pops up. It'll ask you how much you're willing to spend, put a spending cap on. I'm going to max it out. Approve, so this was $1.25. So this whole process so far has cost about $14.25. It's going to ask for one last signature in order to stake the tokens. And this one is the expensive one at $10.79. Okay. It's confirming. If you ever want to see the transaction, you can open your MetaMask, and there's a little view in Block Explorer, and you can kind of see how long it's going to be before your transaction mines. Should be relatively quick today. Doesn't seem like everybody's going hard. Cool. So now, to my understanding, and I've seen some of the comments in Discord, this Divi ETH LP staked thing may have some sort of display bug where it says 0. I saw that some people didn't see it for like 30 minutes or whatever. It could somehow be tied to the epochs, which I'll talk about in a second. At any rate, we have a bug request in, and we'll make sure that that's fixed or resolved. But at any rate, the way that these rewards are paid out, and the reason that you're going to see sort of fluctuating APR here, and right now I have 0 because I've earned no rewards and haven't theoretically nothing staked. Basically, the way that this works is that on a set schedule, which we call epochs, every X amount of days or blocks, the staking rewards that have been built up on the staking vault that facilitates this functionality are paid out into the farm. I don't remember what the epochs are off the top of my head, and if somebody in the chat does know, if Voice is here or somebody, you can ping the group on it. But yes, so check back, once a day, every other day, whatever, and you'll start to see your rewards start to tick up. The APR will also increase over time as more people cross the bridge from the L1 into Divi. So again, if you want this to go up, then I recommend crossing the bridge with whatever you're comfortable crossing the bridge with, and teach other people how this works and encourage them to participate as well. Because it's just another way to earn. And who knows what this APR will turn into over the next month, 2 months, a year, whatever. But it could be pretty significant depending on how much gets allocated into that bridge staking vault. So again, at any time, you can always unstake and claim your rewards. I'm going to leave these staked so that I can start earning. But yeah, that's literally how it all works. So if there are questions about this, please just drop them in the comment section, and I'm happy to answer them. And I'll just double check through the comments, make sure there's nothing I missed. This is a great point as well. Heather brought up. So there's a Divi DAO on Snapshot. Right, I'm on the wrong thing. So snapshot.org. If you go to snapshot.org/dividao.eth, you can participate in the DAO. There's about 86 people here now. Once you have at least one eDivi in your wallet, you can join the DAO and participate in the voting process. It's been going pretty well. Rob has basically been running the whole thing. You may know him as Baldy or McBalderson or whatever, but Hershers, depending on how long you've been around. So yeah, and you can also make proposals, etc. It's a great way for us to communicate as a community and make big decisions together. And it's a decentralized way of managing things, which is how it should work. Definitely get in on the DAO if you haven't already. So great question. Corey Let says, why does liquidity provided disappear once you stake to the farms? So the reason is you actually are locking your liquidity pool token in the farm, right? So your coin is technically out of your wallet. It becomes a custody of the smart contract that is staking. But it's still equivalent there, right? DeFi in many ways is ripe for improvement, I would say, as far as like the user experience is concerned. I have showed many people how DeFi works, and it's a very complicated thing, overly complicated, maybe purposefully. I don't know. I guess it's like an asymmetrical thing. Asymmetrical knowledge leads to higher rewards and higher returns in investing. So perhaps the devs who developed these things have specifically made things complicated, but who knows? I'd like to see it get a lot easier. I'd love to participate in making it easier, but these things come in baby steps usually. Okay, so Jim, this is a good question. Excuse me. Do the rewards go back into MetaMask or stack into your existing staking? So they'll become liquid if you withdraw the rewards. You can once you build up more liquidity, they just kind of like load into your existing LP. So let me just try to explain this simply. There's something called like impermanent loss, which we can get into, but basically what happens is as people swap, you'll start to accumulate, of course, the fees, but also you may rebalance what you initially put in. So I just put in 0.4 ETH and 235,000 Divi or whatever. If people sell a lot of Divi, then I'll end up with more Divi when I withdraw. If people buy a lot of Divi, then I'll end up with more ETH when I withdraw. So keep that in mind. That's why it's called like impermanent loss. If you end up with a ton of the token and it draws down, then you may incur a temporary loss, but you did earn the fees and you did earn the coin. So you still have all of your money. It's just rebalanced. Cool. Hopefully that all makes sense. I know this was a little more than me, even than I wanted to get into today, but hopefully this has like been somewhat informative to you guys. And I'll try to parcel out the various parts of this tutorials so that they can just be quickly referenced on YouTube or whatever. And I'll post those as well. Heather G, great question. Is there a minimum to put in? No, not necessarily. It's just a matter of how much of the pool you want to have. You can put probably a very minimal amount of ETH and Divi in there because they are divisible into, 8 decimals or what have you. Okay, so just one sim has a question about Magic Link. When I click, I think I can do this actually. Kind of. When I click Stake Divi ETH LP, nothing happens. I'm using Magic Link. I have not tested enough with Magic Link myself, so apologies. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I'll do some digging into that, and I'll post in Discord or something. Sorry, I have such bad allergies today. I know I'm sniffing a lot. So yeah, I have no idea, to be honest. I'll look into that for you though. NK, how you doing, buddy? So, is there any documentation to understand more in depth the rebalancing or loss you're mentioning? Yeah, there's tons of information on impermanent loss. I'll drop some links in Discord and on my Twitter after this video ends about impermanent loss. Actually, Rachel Crypto Finally has a really great overview of DeFi as well. We have some blogs out there as well on DeFi. So depending on how deep you want to get into it, there's lots of resources, and I'm happy to share those, and will do so. Easy Beans. I'm not really sure what this means. Will there ever be a Zap In feature? Zap In. If you can elaborate on that, I'm definitely happy to answer it to the best of my ability. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. Jim, it's a great point. Josh is even much better than I am at DeFi. He's the one that taught me everything about DeFi. Of course, I've dug into it a little bit on my own, but yeah, hopefully we can get him on Friday's space next Friday, and he can answer even more questions, go into more of these crazy jargon terms, and educate the community even more. Cool. So unless there's any other questions, I'll let everyone get back to their Fridays. I think we've been streaming for like a half hour. Oh, almost 40 minutes. So don't want to keep everyone away from their friends, family, and the grass that we should all be touching on such beautiful days. I'm sure middle of summer, wherever you are, it's looking nice, except perhaps Australia. Maybe it's winter there or something. At any rate, I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me this afternoon, and I am happy to keep doing these. I will definitely jump into more streams now that the summer's coming to a close. I've been on the road a lot and just not in a good place to stream. So I'll get everything set back up once I'm back home, and we'll continue business as usual. So yeah, cool. Thank you guys once again, and have a great day.